I'm just so delighted you came back. Now this is the, we've had you on the show before, 2 times before actually.
Right.
And there's just so much to talk about and what you do. I really wanted to have you come back again. And of course, what we're going to be talking about tonight is the whole area of the power of the subconscious mind and what that's really all about. I think the subconscious mind for most of us is an area that's kind of mysterious, maybe even a little bit woo-woo. And we certainly don't want it to do anything with it because it's a little bit scary to go there.
So there is a lot of misconception about the subconscious mind, and I hope during this show we can clear up some of those misconceptions.
And my understanding is that the subconscious mind is actually active 24 hours a day and really much more powerful than the conscious mind is. Is that something you would concur with?
Absolutely. I mean, the subconscious mind is taking care of more than 75% of our daily activities. I mean, just think about it for a moment. Raise your arm. Just raise your right arm like this. And realize how many muscles you actually move. But all you needed to do was just to have an intention. Your intention was, I'm going to raise my arm. But you were not controlling those muscles individually. What controlled those muscles was the subconscious mind. And you're right, Gilbert, it's exactly what you said about the subconscious mind working 24 hours. When you sleep at night, who is taking care of the breathing? Who is taking care of the heart beating? Who is taking care of your dreams? So your subconscious mind plays a huge role. But it's very important also to see that there are things we can do to make the subconscious mind even work better for us.
You know, what all resides in the subconscious mind? I mean, is that the place where our emotions reside? How about habits? When we form a habit, does that get relegated to the realm of the subconscious mind?
Let's say you learn a piece on the piano, or you learn just a new skill. Ultimately, you learn it consciously, but in order to be the master of this, you will do it subconsciously. So yes, all these habits and skills are also programmed with the subconscious mind. The emotions come from the subconscious mind. Most of our bodily functions are regulated by the subconscious mind. Our memory is also held in the subconscious mind. Just think about the phone number you grew up with. And most of you had to think about it for a moment. So this number was not readily available. It was somewhere stored in your memory and then had to come up. And that memory, that storage place, is the subconscious mind. What I find so interesting about the subconscious mind is that it's also the place of us that often knows better than our intellect. How many of us actually had the gut feeling that something is wrong, or something didn't feel right, or had an intuition to do something? Either we were listening to it or we were not. But most of the time, in my experience, is that when we are listening to the gut feeling or to our intuition, which is nothing but the subconscious mind giving us information, we are better off. So the subconscious mind is our greatest ally.
Friedemann, is the subconscious mind always right?
That's a very good question. You know, I like this question because when it comes to the subconscious mind, it has 2 prime directives that are very important. One is to preserve our body. The other is to also make us happy. When it comes to smoking, for example, smokers have a hard time to stop consciously. I mean, we all have seen these pictures of the lung cancers and people that couldn't breathe because they were smoking so much. All these kind of, horrific advertisements against smoking. But that is not enough for most people to stop. So consciously, intellectually, people understand smoking is not good, but then there is something inside of them that says, you feel always so great. You always feel so relaxed. And remember, you can go out with your friends and have a cigarette. Remember how good that feels. And that is the subconscious mind. So that's why hypnosis and other subconscious work is so powerful in stopping smoking, because you're not working with your intellect, you're actually working with the subconscious mind. So in this case, you could argue the subconscious mind is not right, but it follows only its prime directives to make you happy. So if you can tell the subconscious mind that it would make you happier to stop smoking, the subconscious mind is turning around and says, okay, stop smoking because it makes you happier ultimately. But you have to give the information to the subconscious. See, the subconscious is not necessarily the one who should run our life. The subconscious should be a collaborator or an ally that we work together consciously so that our life can be richer and we can actually tap into our full potential.
Can you almost liken the subconscious to the engine of a car? And it basically, it powers the car around, but we don't want the engine running the car.
You know, that's a really good analogy, and I want to go even one step further than that. It's not only the engine, but it's also the navigation system in those, you know, modern cars, because it also tells us where we are at and which direction would be good to go. But often consciously we make a different choice, and then, you know, the subconscious says, okay, making this choice means that you need to do now this and this in order to get where you need to go. So yes, absolutely, the subconscious is ultimately serving us. It really carries us through life.
So building on that analogy, I mean, can you get to a place where the engine of the subconscious is only hitting like on 4 out of 8 cylinders?
You know, and I think it does all the time. I mean, think about that the emotions come from the subconscious. And think about that antidepressants and anti-anxiety medication is a multi-billion-dollar industry. The problem now is that this does not solve the problem. See, when there is a subconscious problem, taking medication can make you feel better. But it's almost like as if you would, going back to the analogy of the car, take a spray paint and paint over the warning lamp inside the dashboard so that you don't see it anymore. But it doesn't necessarily go to the root cause of the problem. So ultimately, what people are facing with is either that they take those drugs for a long time or that they have to do additional work that helps them then to go to where this sadness or anxiety came from.
Deepak Chopra says that the immune system is constantly listening to our thoughts and what we're telling it.
Right.
And it's really what it's, the immune system then is trying to mirror whatever we tell it. Is that energetically it's trying to mirror that and like outpicture whatever our thoughts and our feelings are. Is that right?
You know, I think it is. And there have been great studies that actually proved that and showed how our thoughts are affecting our immune system. One study, for example, showed that stress negatively influenced the activity of natural killer cells and lymphocytes. So people under stress, they have been, you know, given blood, and those killer cells and lymphocytes have been tested in the test tube, how well they respond, and they were much weaker than people who had a normal stress level or felt very balanced. On the other side, people who were visualizing their immune system to function 100% and being really active could increase the activity of their lymphocytes and their natural killer cells. So yes, there is a very, very close correlation of our emotions and our subconscious and our immune system.